Let's call a scandal a scandal. Let's call a sham a sham. Now, Republican convention, you got Miss Smith there talking about her son that begged. Miss Clinton, can we have more security over in Benghazi? No. Secretary of State, can we have more security over in Benghazi? No. The ambassador, can we have more security? No. Britain leaves. They leave Benghazi. They take off because it's too dangerous to stay there. Can we have a little more security because things are dangerous here? No. We're in the middle of an election, and if we gave you more security, it looks like that our thing is Bin Laden's on the run, and we killed Bin Laden, and Al Qaeda's on the run. It doesn't fit our narrative. So no. Okay. Patricia Smith goes on live TV at the convention and said she blames the death of her son on Hillary Clinton. Why? She was a Secretary of State. Why? Because she was asked numerous times, over 100, for more security. And because it didn't fit their narrative that everything was secure, that they didn't make a mistake in Libya, with Gaddafi. No. So anyways, Ambassador Stevens was killed and her son was killed. 2 other American soldiers were killed. You know what? Hillary Clinton didn't send people right away to help. She didn't even send people. Well, put your uniforms on, take your uniforms off. We can't go in Libya. Look, you got American soldiers in there. When Ronald Reagan was president, he'd send them over there and he'd save the people like that. But Hillary, well, what are we going to do? We might screw up the election. Barack Obama might lose if we find out. Folks, truth is, Hillary was involved. Whether you agree with me or not, she was involved in the situation. Roll forward to the Democratic Convention. We got this con gentleman that his son was killed. He was a Muslim American, and he was killed in the line of duty. And halfway through the guy's speech, missing his son, I agreed for the guy too. And his son was a hero too, by the way. He said he helped save some of his fellow comrades. But this gentleman, I don't know if he's paid by the DNC or whatever, starts saying he blames it on Trump. Trump had nothing to do with it. He wanted to stay out of the Iraq War, and he wasn't even a politician at the time. He was a businessman. Nothing to do with it, not Secretary of State, not nothing. The Democrats like to push their agenda. They get some schmuck that they brainwash. And why I call him a schmuck, folks? Because Castellano's got a little news for you. After all the controversy about Mr. Khan, he's an upstanding, a grieving parent. Guess what, folks? On his website that he took down very quickly when all this started to happen, he would tell Syrian refugees how to sneak into our country, how to get in here. He would help them. Castellano, what are you saying? Well, you're not going to hear it on MSNBC, so don't look there. You're not going to see that on CNN. Watch. The future will show that the dad is one of those so-called pleads, like, I'm innocent, I grieve, but he's involved. Look at Syrian refugees, Germany, France, Belgium, France again. How many times a week before we learn? Brennan says it, Panetta says it, all the people in our military and Justice Department says that the Syrian refugees are going to try to infiltrate and come in here and do damage to our country. Why do the Democrats want them in here? I'm going to be blunt about this, folks. You know what? I'm not even going to have a drink. I'm going to tell you the truth. You know why they do? Because they got Syrian refugees where they could place them any place they want. So they know a lot of immigrants that come in, especially when you give them handouts, free housing, free food, free whatever, everything free, they're going to be loyal to you. So you go, well, let's see. The 19th district of the British Columbia, they usually vote Republican. We'll ship 1,000 over here. And in Iowa, we have a hard time over in this district. We'll send 500 here. Folks, that's what's happening. They get green cards. They can become civilians. They get the vote. Look at the Democrats. Republicans passed voter ID law for voter fraud. Voter fraud has been going on forever, but since the Nixon administration, Nixon got screwed out of his first election. You know why? Voter fraud. And what happened in voter fraud? He got screwed because it was in the middle of a Vietnam War. He kept his mouth shut just to help the country out. But next term he goes out, becomes the president of the United States. Here's that they're going to cheat again. The Democrats are going to do business as usual. So he wiretaps the DNC office building. You don't have to wiretap them anymore. You just hack them nowadays. But anyways, he wiretapped him to find out. Now, he was way, way in the lead. Not like the Hillary Trump thing. It's close right now. Way, way in the lead. But he already got an election ripped off from the Democrats. And I'm going to tell you how evil and how corrupt the Democrats are. 70 districts. When Barack Obama went against Mitt Romney, 70 districts. Just think, we'll talk Monroe County. Of all of Monroe County, not one vote for Mitt Romney. This is what we're talking about. So we're talking about 70 districts didn't have one vote for Mitt Romney. Unheard of, folks. Unheard of. We got people voting for Gary Johnson, whatever. But not one. So the Democrats are famous for this. Trump says it's rigged. Newt Gingrich says it's rigged. Folks, the Democrats have been doing this for years. The Democrats lie and say that they're the ones that are for slavery. The Democrats kept the slaves. They're the ones that fight. They fought for slavery. The Republicans with Abraham Lincoln fought and they stopped slavery. The Democrats wanted it. They're in the Southern. Okay? So Republicans, start standing up for what you say. The Jim Crow and all that stuff, it happened because of the Democrats. The Democrats, one of the highest guys in the Democrat Party was the head of the Ku Klux Klan. So folks, stop believing the lie. Look up. Well, you know what? You can't even look up. They're rewriting the history books. The Democrats are putting all their people in. The Republicans, open your eyes, get involved. But they're putting all their people in. Folks, you need an ID under Obamacare because it's such a failure. You want to go get a physical. Excuse me, you have your picture ID, folks? Oh, yeah, I want to get health care. Here's my picture ID, okay. You want any picture ID? Yeah. You can show you picture ID. But the vote. I want to vote. Here, I'll sign your name here. They go to old folks' homes. Here, I brought you a box of candy, Miss Nelson. Here, how you going? Hey, Miss Nelson, we're gonna fill in the votes. We're gonna mail it in. You're not, you're an old folks home sending. You're voting for Barack Obama, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Miss Nelson. Enjoy your box of candy, folks. I'm not making this crap up. That's what the Democrats do. Open your eyes, Steve Benedetto. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Okay? Folks, I'm not lying about this. Look it up. Pay attention. See? This is scandalous. But you want to go to Redbox over at Wegmans? ID. You want to cash a check? ID. Like I said, you want to go to doctors? ID. But the vote. What is voter fraud? Well, it's not as rampant as they. Well, because they can't catch them. Why? Because some states give away license. Or you're a legal alien here. You can still have a license. Folks, wake the hell up. If this isn't scandalous, I don't know what is. You're watching the Rick Castellano show, and if you don't pay attention really hard, and you really don't care, then you know what? You deserve what you get. Smoke.